Yes, welcome to keeping the ball on the ground. The last three standing.
Just a bit.
Oh, there's a foul by the wayside, mate. You can't hand on it.
Oh, what a night, wasn't it? What a night. Well, we spent about, what, a third date we use. You went on to bigger and better things, didn't you?
But you just smoke bomb it, mate. You need to stop. You didn't even tell us you were going. He just leaves. I went and bought us 20 fags. I was only a fag with you.
Do you want to know something? It's something just, I don't know, it's inbuilt. When I'm in Glasgow, I like to just take off myself and go to different places. I don't know why.
Did you get him, no?
Oh, aye. I get him at a decent hour.
Aye, he's in the bag.
With everybody. You know what I mean? Well, I like to have a wee nightcap. Everybody's in their kit, right? So I got there's Baileys there, obviously Christmas time. So having a few Baileys in it, you get the munchies.
Aye.
Just, I was desperate for chocolate. And just under the tree there it was, 2 advent calendars. My granddaughter's with Isla's. And I couldn't help myself, by the way. I didn't realise how much an advent calendar means to, not just to Wayne's, like to people. So I done them in. The Galaxy one was brilliant, you know, and I've only done, I done that. I did do that.
That's incredible, man.
I know, and they fell out of me, and I'm running all the shops yesterday.
Can anyone get him an advent calendar?
As soon as this finishes, boom, I'm on a mission, by the way.
What
I need to get it sorted.
Mate, you were, on the show, you were sensational.
But I've got a backup. Elf on the shelf. That wee fella could help me out.
How?
Because I can blame him, you know, and then I can... and then put, like, I can buy Milky Bars and all that, and Galaxies run about.
Aye, just get a bag of decorations.
So I've always, you got to have a plan B, haven't you?
Aye, definitely.
Got to sort something out. But I didn't need it, they have genuinely fell out of me.
No, the advent calendars are big things, mate.
The boys, it's the boys that I can't believe. They're disgusted with their old man. But
mate,
sorry,
you deserve it.
Sorry.
Can I say to your family they're watching, he deserves it for after your performance on that show?
That was a great vibe.
It was good.
Buzz was brilliant.
Good.
Everything, the audience or the guys that showed up and all that, I just thought it was a brilliant feel. Even before it, I love in behind before you go out on stage, before you take to the stage. I get a wee buzz for that watching you guys. Aye, and it was a good crack in there.
It was good.
Darts were flying about.
Faddy was good. He's not right. So remember he booted the ball in the hydro.
Oh,
he comes up. Faddy's playing somebody at darts, and he comes up to me and goes, "Would you mind if I flung darts at the crowd?" I was like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?"
No, Faddy done me a beaut because we're in that whatever it is, that room, the green room or whatever you call it, and we're fucking about with the darts, weren't we? And then Faddy's done as a beauty, by the way, class. By the way, you can see the real Faddy coming out, can't you? Because he took the thing off, it was just the kind of feather bit and all that. And he turned round and he went like that. Poof! Did you not see it? I was like, how good was that? I didn't flinch, you know. I knew it was coming. Even if it was going to stick my head, I was ready to take it. I was like, I braced. I went like, go on. And it just went and bounced off me and he was laughing. Hey, and I get into trouble at the hydro for kicking a ball in. What did she kick into the crowd? What? That big space hopper.
Oh, sorry, did he booted that in the crowd?
Health and safety. Oh, that's just sort of flying through there. And I went, there you go. He's a bit of a madman underneath.
He is.
You see him on the telly and all that and doing all his stuff. He's very good. But there's that's me
and him got to 12 o'clock till me were like that in that window bar. We were like, let's go. I don't know. But he's top man, Faddy, isn't he?
He's a great guy.
He's a good lad.
He was great on the live show, wasn't he?
Was he?
He's big dunk and he had more grabs and stories as well. Brilliant, man.
Very good.
How was your weekend?
It was good, mate. It was fun. I'm like Derek, I'm the fucking band.
It's murder, isn't it?
I obviously had the speakers gig organised before we'd done the SWG3, so I didn't like to cancel on people. Had a good afternoon and then 11:30 was the last train, wasn't it? And just didn't fucking see it. Didn't see it. I think I was in the pub.
You were getting food, didn't you?
I was just I couldn't get a taxi in Edinburgh. And then eventually when I got one about the back of 12, I had on 25 bangers back to Cumbernauld.
Oh.
So woke up yesterday and she's...
You only got 100 from doing that show as well, didn't you?
I've actually lost money doing the show. So I'm back down the road and she's come in and she's... tell her.
No,
I do love her, but I've got some fucking grovelling to do.
Oh.
I don't think I've done a lot wrong, Derek. I got home, everyone was cool. My mate was with me.
Very rarely,
mate. Fucking Santa Claus is out me.
Correct.
So I just So I'll.
But you ate the full fridge, didn't you? He didn't act very good. But you did
Mrs. Kyle, give him a breather, man.
No, Mrs. Kyle will come in. She's just stressed with Christmas and stuff.
That's what happens.
It's mad with that World Cup final, didn't it? Me and Slaney were nearly rolling about in the dirty Duchess over Ronaldo and Messi. I didn't like Ronaldo and I'm arguing about him.
How emotional was he getting with Messi?
Oh my God, man.
I've never saw somebody as
Like, he was
emotional
great when he
and
won
he's
it.
excited about Messi. Wasn't he? He was incredible. Has he got his tattoo
He is
yet?
going to get the
Is that
tattoo.
how he's not here? Shall we getting his tattoo?
And he's another one, mate, doesn't really go a lot, so I think he's quite rough.
Slaney?
I think he's still in his bed.
It was emotional, right? The
He's
World Cup,
gingerbread.
right, with Messi, the whole kind of aftermath of it all. It was like in terms of a World Cup final, what a spectacle to put on between the two teams.
Tremendous. Fuck the World Cup for on domestic stuff because it's back. But before we start, Grosvenor Sport, double the odds for new sign ups for your first £10 bet. Sign up at gsport.com/open goal.
Yep.
What a company, Grosvenor, isn't it?
Top notch.
Been brilliant for us.
Absolute top notch.
Right, Michael Beer, new era, got off 3-2.
Right.
First half wasn't great, second half really good. Happy with the performance? We'll go Derek first.
Well, no, the first half, obviously. I think I like what I like about Bill's really honest, you know, and when he's doing his interviews and all that, it just says he was maybe a wee bit too emotional before that game, and maybe that kind of rubbed off on the players a wee bit. Whether that's he's trying to make a wee bit of an excuse there, but great that he says I've got a lot of work to do here. I've acknowledged that. He's got to improve, the players have got to improve, but the first half was worrying, you know, but then you look at it, you know, the amount of players are missing, you know, they didn't ever recognise, apart from Tavernier, I reckon, and the wee fella, sorry.
Done well, wee guy, I thought he done well, so did I.
I take he's a right back, is he?
Yeah, he's a right back.
And there's where I found it very strange, because I think when you've got somebody like Tavernier, who's an experienced player, you know, and if you're a young guy that's just coming into the side, then why play the young boy out of position? I think Tav should have went and played the left back and let the young boy go into his preferred position where he's more comfortable, and let the experienced boy that's been there, done it, go and play the left back. Surely he's capable, you know, of doing that. So I thought that was a wee bit strange, Kev. You know,
but he did look quite comfortable. He's left foot as well. Maybe Tavernier's.
But I'm saying to give the young boy, the best chance possible, he should play him his preferred position and let the experienced guy. That's what I've done. You know, as a player, say, hold on, man, I'll go and play in that position.
But then is he thinking about maybe like Tav, what he offers going forward?
100%.
That's what he's
going on. Playing kind of narrow, wide players. He wanted him to get high.
They improved in the second half, obviously. I thought the Hibs ran out of steam a wee bit. Yeah. I mean, I looked at them, they couldn't press. Maybe that's because Rangers upped it big time. But no, they were impressive in the second half. Got the win, which they needed. But obviously, a lot of room for improvement there.
Who do you think looked, who impressed you players-wise, Kev?
Do you know what? Like Derek said, the first half they were very abject. It was like it was that old Rangers of pedestrian. It was quite, and Hibs didn't have to work too hard for the 2 goals to go 2-1 up. I think that the first goal with Porter is obviously a good head on that, but who gets that amount of time in a box?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then obviously the second goal, it looked like, I think it was Sands trying to read the pass, but it got deflected, and that's how it's ended up in the gap. So there, you can't really do too much about that. But I thought Ryan Kent was actually all right. I thought
because the wee guy kept getting him
the ball, and I thought he kept running at people. And I thought that's what you want to see for Ryan Kent. You want to see him get at people.
He was given a wee bit more freedom. Him and Tillman were allowed to kind of roam a wee bit.
Tillman's great now.
Tillman's a good feet.
Well, because you look at what Van Bronckhorst played him in a wide position. You know, he's better central and allowed that freedom. Same with the other wee fella as well. But see, getting back to the goal, that was Lundstrom. Lundstrom should have picked up.
It was Lundstrom's man, he was picking up Porteous.
You could see it right away. You know, and he gets away too easy. So you're not going to beat him. You've got to block your run. You've got to make it up for him. But it was far too easy.
See, first half, I did feel for Bale a wee bit because, like you say, you've only got that back four, and Hibs sensed that and just kicked the ball long, didn't they, with two big guys up top? Well, as a coach, what can you actually do about that? There's not much you can do. Do you know what I mean? It's just the players that you've got at your disposal.
But that's what he says. Obviously, he needs players back. He needs centre. So Golson is certainly, it looks as if he's going to be in the fray for the game against Aberdeen. But they need players back. You can see that. It's clear to see.
Did you like the two up top? Was it Sakala and Morelos?
I prefer to. I always think two. No, like two out and out up top, but I like one being further up the park. Morelos didn't actually touch the ball too many times during the game. But
quite poor first half, Morelos,
but ultimately, he's ended up scoring the winner. That's what you're asking after your striker. And obviously with Sakala, as much as maybe Sakala's maybe no a Rangers favourite at the minute, he's direct.
He gives you something, Kev. I agree.
See, for the size of him, he's quite strong.
Yeah.
So see, when he gets running at you, he is a threat, and when he goes at people, I don't know. I feel like I think he offers more than some in that Rangers team. I don't know what it is that he's really good at. I can't pinpoint what he's. But
he's direct.
I just think that he offers something a wee bit different. I think when you've got maybe like Sakala and Kent being able to get at you, then the team at the back can get up a bit, and I think that gives Rangers a bit more of a platform. But I think, like Derek said earlier, the Rangers need to get players back and start playing players in position. Like you think about Tab being the only one out that back four, then you've got Sands, Lundstrom. Lundstrom's a centre midfielder, Sands is whatever, and then you've got the boy Divine. So.
But they need
Kamara, Glenn Kamara for me was quiet for somebody that's been out of the fray to come back in.
Because he was one Andy said that Bale got the best out of him.
Andy was obviously 100% right, but for me, Glenn Kamara was very quiet. He didn't do enough. Whether that's down to maybe match sharpness, match fitness, maybe needs time to get back up to speed, but I thought he was very quiet.
The real Glenn Kamara, as Bill said. So sometimes that worries me that, even under the previous manager, you should still be getting everything.
Right.
I know sometimes the relationships you have there, sometimes you don't quite hit it off of them, but as soon as you cross the white line, come on.
What did you think of Hibs' positive signs? Nisbet's back.
I thought they were good to start with, like the first half, but like Derek said earlier, they died a death. It's as if
strange that after 3 weeks off, you think they'd be...
I feel like they put Porteous in like a kind of holding midfielder role. He's obviously got his goal, done all right. When they went 2-1 up, I know it's still early in the game, but could they have went a wee bit more, I don't know, compact, narrow, and maybe made it difficult for Rangers? I don't know, but
I think they've done that second half, didn't they? And they just ended up sitting on the edge of the box,
but I'm looking at that thinking, obviously, the Porteous situation, he's obviously said he's wanting to leave Hibs in January, and obviously there's talk of maybe potentially going to Rangers, whatever. On that performance and watching Porteous, are you thinking, he could do a job in here, or I would be sitting like I'm still sitting
for a free transfer. I think it's a no-brainer.
For a free transfer, I'm sitting there thinking I'm not overly convinced yet, and I think until you see him at a team and performing differently, then they'll say, well, that is a. But at the minute, I'm just a wee bit.
I think he's a good player. I think Rangers are top heavy in terms of all the centre backs. Golson's to come back, Davis to come back, Hollander.
But they're all injury prone, Derek. Porteous plays every week. He's never injured.
So you've got 4 centre backs now that have still to come back for injury. Do you want another one in there as well?
No.
I'm not so sure. And that's the only thing I wouldn't go.
That's why I look at it and think if Golson's back this week, which he is, he comes back in, you're probably going to play the boy King, I would imagine. Keep him in, because he's been good.
I'm talking about young boy, he's been brilliant. He's been different class.
You're basically bringing one of your youth products through the club to bring in somebody of a similar ilk. For what reason? Because he's a free transfer and he's a young Scottish talent. Like Ryan Porteous will get a good move regardless. I think he is a good player. I'm not trying to disrespect him in any way. I didn't see enough to think, he would slot in at that Rangers team.
I'd like to see him go abroad.
That's what I was thinking. Same as what Lewis and Hickey and all that have done. I think that'd be good for him.
He's a good football playing centre back. He can see a pass. He can come out for the back, and that's what you need to do. So I'd like to see him go abroad.
But Nisbet back's a huge. The fact that goes and a goal at nothing.
Do you know what I love about Nisbet? He bashes people about. I love that in a centre forward. Even when he's not in the best of games, he's still difficult. He's bashing people about.
But he's going to be a huge asset back to Hibs. Because they're needing goals, and he will get you goals.
Lost 8 of the last 9, am I right in saying that?
Right, they're really bad.
And they've now got Hearts in the Cup. Is that like a must-win for Lee Johnson at this stage, or is that too early to be saying that?
No, needs to get them. I can't believe how they ran out of steam. After an hour, they were gubbed, which is strange. I don't kind of get that, because you're saying that layoff, it's as if they've maybe went through a pre-season. So everybody's in this kind of, should be, in an even keel, coming back. And the difference that looked even in the fitness was a wee bit kind of alarming. I thought if you're a Hibs supporter,
if you're Hibs fans right now, spoke to a few of them on Sunday, they'd be alarmed. I would be alarmed. Yeah. You've lost 8 games out of 9. You've got your city rivals coming up in the cup game. You lose that, which is never good at the best of times, regardless whether you're on a run or not. I think he's got 3-4 games to sort himself out, because Hibs are on that spiral of when you're losing all the time, it becomes a habit, just like winning becomes a habit. And if they don't pick themselves up, the teams below, like there's St Johnson win again, Kilmarnock, the United, once if they start picking up points, you start then bringing Hibs into the... And before you know it, you're thinking, wait a minute here, so for me...
Do you think you should be doing better with that group of players? Do you think that squad's good enough to be competing with Hearts for third?
It's a massive squad he's got. I think that's part of his problem.
Yeah.
He's got
still doesn't know his best 11 probably.
Aye, and that's... I mean, I'm a wee bit maybe old-fashioned in that sense that I want to know my strongest 11 as quick as...
No, I'm 100% with you. That's not old school, I agree.
But it's a wee bit... When you look at nowadays, they like to rotate, don't they, and bring players in, obviously with the 5 substitutions, but if I could... And if they're all fit enough, I'd put my strongest 11 out there, week out, week in.
Yeah, you've got to look at it as well, that come January, if they do lose Porteous, if he goes in January, that's a big asset that they've lost. And then you've got Boyle who's injured. Like before you start thinking, wait a minute, it's alright getting Nisbet coming back, but you've lost Boyle and you might potentially, you're going to maybe lose Porteous if he doesn't sign a deal, but if he doesn't move in January, so it's a big game. And the boy, what do you call him at the back, Bashiri?
Rocky.
Questionable sometimes.
I thought he had a better game than Hanlon. I thought Hanlon was poor.
Hanlon was poor. I think one of the balls that come in, they headed it out. And I've seen this quite a lot in some centre-halves. When it comes to them and they head it out, sometimes they don't look to where they're heading it to.
Just heading it anywhere.
They're just heading it straight to the guys incoming. Can you, when that ball comes and you're anticipating it coming for the header, can you do like what a Messi does when he's dribbling with the ball? He already knows that he's passing it to this guy.
Can't be asking Paul Hanlon to be...
No, I know, but what I'm saying, no.
That's in the same sentence, that's brilliant,
but what I'm trying to say is try and see what you're doing with the ball. So if he heads it out to the side, less danger. I don't know.
Alright, on to Aberdeen v Celtic. Did you watch it?
That was a hard watch.
But Celtic should have been outside now.
Celtic should have been outside. Kyogo's missed a couple of good opportunities early in the first half, but... What do
you think's happened to Kyogo? Because early on in his Celtic career, he's scoring them, isn't he?
A bit brave. There was one, I think, he's waiting in the hit. It was the one that flashes across. I think, as a centre forward, sometimes you just make sure you get it on target. Take the hit. Somebody's going to clatter you, so be it. I mean, that's what you're there for.
I would have had...
I'm sorry, but the reason... The twos went, it's the Aberdeen, at home, on a horrible day, cold day, people paying good money, travelling sometimes a long way, at home, Aberdeen, at home, whether it's Celtic, whether it's Rangers, whoever it is, you've got to at some point have a go. 19% possession. That's quite scary, by the way. So it is. And I know Jim's come out and, and he's declared why he used the tactics, but
the fact it was 0-0 for so long, does that mean his tactics
worked? No, because his tactics were working to a point, but at the same point is that when you are sitting in, you still must have the mindset of, if we do get an opportunity to attack, counter-attack, whatever it is, this is how we're going to do it. But they didn't even look like... It was just like, we'll just defend, and we'll just keep defending. We don't, even if we get the ball, we don't really know what we're going to do with it. And I just thought that's what annoyed me. Yeah. Because it's all right sitting in, but you still need to sit in with the idea of...
We need to hit them.
We need to hit them at a point. Well, Aberdeen didn't do that. And I think that's where the frustration is.
Even in the second half, would there not be even at one point in that game, where it's half an hour to go, 20 minutes to go, say, right, let's go, let's have a go here. But nothing, I tell you, I felt for these supporters, by the way, to go and watch that. That was horrible, by the way. So
McGregor, what a finish now. What a play as well. Massive that he's back in it for Celtic.
It was coming, that goal. You could sense it. You know what I mean? Aye, McGregor was, what a strike.
He's obviously a bonus coming back. He's not been there, the last 2-3 months. Now he's back and an opportunity. Beyond the Kyogo thing you were saying there, like, maybe is it time for Kyogo to have a wee spell on the bench?
Do you think it's time for Giamakis?
I think it's particularly in that type of game against Aberdeen, when they're compressed in there and you've got all the ball, sometimes I think that's when you've just got to put crosses in the box, put balls in the box, and you make people defend. And what happens is you might not get the first phase, you might get the second phase. You might, if you keep doing it repeated, make defenders defend. Eventually they might make a mistake. Somebody might just switch off, and somebody might just get that opportunity. Whereas when it's back through, and then there's no room to slip wee balls down the side, that becomes difficult. And I thought, should they have put Giamakis on maybe at half time?
Yeah.
But listen, I can't argue with Ange. He brought him on, and Callum Reggers ended up scoring the 87th minute. They got the 3 points, and nobody will really remember too much about who come on.
Would you have enjoyed playing in that Aberdeen side as a midfielder?
No.
That must have been torture for them, the boys.
You ought to play, didn't you?
Of course you did.
You understand that you need to be hard to beat.
Even though you're going up against Celtic, right, and they're the best side in the league at the minute, so you want to pick your wits against them. You want to show how good you are. you know, and they weren't allowed that.
Yeah.
That freedom.
We done it to a certain, we see when you're playing better, we done it against Alloa, we sat in for the first half.
Right.
And then we decided once it gets to 60 minutes, we're going to go for it.
Boom, there. But that wasn't even, there wasn't even that kind of plan, which was, I found it really strange.
But on your performance with Alloa, they sat in, but you didn't sit in the way Aberdeen sat in.
No,
you still got the ball in your full-back positions and looked to just put wee balls into the channel to try and get players to run.
Yeah.
And then eventually, as you did it more in the second half, they then sat off because they were like, oh, wait a minute, they just dropped back a wee 5 yards, then 5 became 10, and before you know it, your team's on top. Whereas with Aberdeen, they had the two strikers on the park. They had Duke and
strange.
Miofsky, and still couldn't get up the park.
Yeah.
Which I find strange.
They're trying to sell season tickets for the second half of the season. Are you going to buy a season ticket after watching that? No.
Should Jim Goodwin be judged on these games against Celtic?
Well, he mentioned about the Rangers game where he says he was far through it. You've got to find a balance.
Balance, of course you do.
Yeah,
of course you do.
You know, and that's why you're saying, you're talking about Broomhill, you know, there was a plan in place that there was a kind of a key moment you say, right, we're going to have a go. You know, but at not one point did they look as if they're going to do that against Celtic. And once you let Celtic get into a rhythm, feel comfortable with the players that have got, it was always going to come. They go.
They're good enough to go break you down, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So do you think he'll change his tactics against it? They're going now and play Rangers again this week?
I think he has to. I think he will. I think if I was Jim Goodwin watching Rangers the other night against Hibs and how slow Rangers started, if you can come out at Rangers in the early up at Aberdeen, especially up at Pittodrie, you could end up getting yourself a goal or 2 goals and then maybe sit in and protect a lead. I don't think Aberdeen should be really sitting at home against a Rangers team that, for me, aren't quite at it yet. Obviously, Beale's only come in and it's his first game. He's managed to get 3 points. They're not quite there. He's admitted that. So there's an opportunity there for Aberdeen to go and have a go. And the way you look at it, I always think, right, had that got to 90 minutes and the game finished and they got a point, and say they sit in tomorrow night and they get a point, are they 2 points really going to be a huge difference come the end of the season? Whereas if you have a go of both games and you nick a win, well, you're getting 3 points. It's like you try to balance up, and I don't think a lot of teams look at the Old Firm games and think, oh, if we can get a point off Celtic maybe twice a year, that's going to help us at the end of the season. I don't think it's a big thing. Because
you think if it is Sands and Lundstrom, you'd think Miofsky and Duke could get into a tough time with their physicality and their pace. That's
how we were saying earlier. He needs one of the centre backs.
Does Barisic come back in?
Golston. But the other thing you've got to remember...
I wouldn't play Barisic.
No.
So the other thing you've got to remember about that game, there's a real edge to that game.
Yeah.
There's a massive dislike between the two teams. So there's always that atmosphere changes. So it does. I've been up there. I've watched it. I've watched them, and Luis Susera was at all the games, and there was a real different atmosphere when Rangers came calling. Yeah. And you could sense it, you could feel it in there. So with that, I think that's where Aberdeen, they need to have a go.
Yeah,
they have to.
All right, Hearts. They're back again in the Hearts. They're looking good again. And the Kelly 3-1, I think they were really comfortable. Mid-season break benefited them massively.
They had a good end to the season before the break. Picked up a couple of decent results, and then now you've got guys like Snoddy, who's had a break and probably managed to get himself a wee bit fitter.
Yeah,
because he came in midway through the season there. Apparently he was
he's head and shoulders, isn't he?
Head and shoulders. And then obviously for me, they've got good players. They've signed well. They've got good players. And they've had an injury list that's been the size of, I don't know, Andy's forehead, but they're coming back now. And I think
they're assuring for third out in the Hearts.
I tell you what, I took Andy after the gig, took him for a warm down. You know,
seen you scalping his ass. What was happening?
I was getting him. He was taking cramp a wee bit. I had to stop him, stretch him off and that. No, but I had a wee conversation with him, and he was raving about Snods. Just absolutely loved him. You know how positive he is, and his first thought is, can I get the ball forward?
Yeah,
it's not been safe all the time. It's just get it forward. So he was raving about him. So he was.
Can you see anyone else challenging Hearts for third?
Do you know who actually would be a surprise? And it's maybe St Johnstone. They're on a great run now.
Yeah.
I think they've got the same points as Hearts.
Got great experience in St Johnstone.
And I think that they've now found a style and a formation.
He's got his best 11.
He's got his best 11 on the park, and they're all going with the same plan, and they seem to be doing well. But I think Hearts over the course and distance will be there, but it's just it's the numbers and depth of squad that Hearts have got. Like they've not got everybody back, but see, once they get everybody back, you've got look at Shankland. He's not the top scorer in the top goal scorer in the league now. 14 goals or something.
Good.
I could be wrong, but
even guys like Rolls, are really good. These guys have went to World Cups and performed. That tells you how good they are.
They've got a good squad.
Sure they have.
Aye.
I hope they get third. I like Hearts, aye. I like the way they go about their business. I know, of course I'm an ex-Jambo. I always have a wee soft spot for them.
Yep.
That was the other thing I was talking to Andy, like, Andy thought he would never play in Scottish football. Again, I'm bet he's glad, and he is glad that he changed his mind, and he's at a brilliant club. That's a cracking club. You actually don't realise that.
People don't
until you're there.
We've spoken about it, Andy. Until you're in there and you go, God, this is a great wee club. Not a great wee club, do you know what I mean? When you're in that dressing room, because I got it right away with all the boys. They were there, the Levines, the Robertsons, the Mackays, what it meant to them. And right away I was like, I need to when I went to Hearts, I did a bit of I did a bit of research on them, and I tried to figure out who in the past at Hearts has been successful, why were they successful, and the guys that played my position, guys like Sandy Clark, you Big DeVries, and I used to think these guys worked hard and they gave their everything for the club, and that's the kind. I thought if I get there and I do that and do it well, they'll take to me, and that's what happened. And I just think like what other club? I think they get something like 150 grand a month in for fans, for donations.
Fanatics in the Hearts fans.
So to pay that money in every month, it allows you to have the players that they have, so they should be third. And listen, Robbie Nielsen, sometimes he gets a wee bit of stick every now and then.
Where does Robbie Nielsen go for you? If you do go and finish third again, will there be pressure for him to go and try and get second? And is that possible?
It's always going to be difficult. I think third is success for Robbie.
Yeah.
And
do Hearts fans find that difficult? Do they find that difficult to believe it's third success?
I tell you, they're hard. It's an incredible club, but they're hard to please. Which I quite like, because there's no point in going out there without the pressure. You need the pressure to perform, and I think and they put that pressure on you, and if you can't deal with that, you either sink or you swim. Right. I kind of quite like that about Hearts.
You swam, big man, didn't you?
I did swim,
You swam very well.
Naked.
Felt like swimming on Sunday.
St Johnstone carried it, like you said, carried on with the left off 2-1 away to Ross County.
They were 1-0.
They could have been 2-0 down.
Aye, they could have been 2-0 down. Your man that got sent off, what was his name?
Oh, there you go with all these names.
No,
go on, gaze it. This will be good.
Is it Huxtable? I can't remember what his name is. He gets sent off. He pulled somebody back, and then what do you call them? The two boys, the two goals came in for the boys at Johnson. What do you call them? Ali Crawford. And they were like within 3 minutes. The 2 goals. So the game turned on that instance. They went down to 10 men. St Johnstone got back in the game 2-1, and then before you know it, we're sitting joint fourth with Hearts. Incredible.
Especially after last season, because last season, let's be honest, it was a disaster for St Johnstone.
And even at the beginning of this season's not been great. No. What they've got now is they've got guys like Stevie May, keep talking about it, playing really well. You've got Ali Crawford, you've got a settled back four.
Clark's massive for him.
Big time.
Now you've got Waterspoon back in, you've got for
Graham
me,
Carey, really good.
Ali Crawford, hey, their goals were top notch, by the way.
He's got that Ali Crawford, he's got that quality.
Even the setting, the desire to get there, and the build up, you could just see him bombing for the middle of the park. Sometimes at that stage of the game or whatever, you're thinking, I could just sit off it. No, he wanted to get in there, keep her palms at it. There he comes in, by the way, and great connection. His first goal's a topper, I thought.
Considine as well, good signing. He's been a good signing, hasn't he?
Considine, it's just black and white. You know what you're getting with Considine. A big aggressive centre half in Scottish football. Just like loves a dance.
Loves to dance.
Loves to boogie. Just kicks it, does it simple, doesn't complicate things, and gives you everything every single week. And that's probably what St Johnstone had that before, and the boys that left that went down to Wigan and whether they had good centre halves. Struggled to replace them too, but they've now replaced them with Considine.
Mitchell's came in for Millwall, he's done well as well.
He's done as well. For me, St Johnstone will finish top 6.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a battle for top 6. Again, bigger clubs like Hibs could struggle to get in there, couldn't they? You're done United's.
That's what I love about it. There's nothing between them. And so, have a go each game, and fancy your chances. And talking about big Considine now, because I'd watched obviously a wee bit of him when I was going up to watch some of the games and all.
You've watched that video loads of times, haven't you? On your in the house steaming.
By the way.
Would you ever done something like that? Got the women's gear on and danced a bit?
You kidding me on? Give me peace. You fancy doing that, do you? You always ask things like that. I think you're a cross-dresser. I think you get him, didn't you? After this, and you're into your missus' wardrobe and all that.
Got the songs on, look.
You were excited with the pants that were on show the other night, weren't you?
Slaney's Maz knickers.
They were massive, weren't they?
They're big pants in there. They're drawers. Went in our drawers. What else? I was going to ask you, is Kilmarnock, are you worried for Kelly? I think that he's got a good home record, doesn't he? But it's going to be tough for a minute.
He needs this window. He needs to bring in a few. But the thing that he done at the start is give everybody an opportunity. So he's got a kind of adjust now.
What he needs.
And he's good enough manager. I think he's good enough to keep them up.
Where does he go and get these players for that?
It'll be interesting to see how Dundee United start after the break, because obviously they've had time, Foxy and what do you call him, Big Charlie now, Big Foxy and Charlie have had time to work with him. So will we see a different Dundee United after the break? Because obviously they've not played yet.
Yeah.
But I think genuinely it's between Kilmarnock and Dundee United at the minute.
Yeah.
Who's your next fixture against Dundee United? Because I know because it was Livingston. It was cancelled. That's a difficult place to go.
Are you not happy that the game's cancelled? But is that one that you want to go back to straight after the break?
No,
probably not.
And that's what I'm saying. It's probably a good game for them to miss. In terms of it was cancelled because you wouldn't fancy going to Livy. I like Livy.
Because I think Livy's got 2 games in hand. If they win their 2 games in hand, they go up to third. Two, might be 2 points clear of Hearts if they can win their 2 games in hand or something like that. I was looking at the league, but the top 6 is going to be interesting. I think it's a nail on Celtic, Rangers, Aberdeen, Livy, Aberdeen, Hearts and St Johnstone. That's my 6.
And this is the time of the year for the players and all. This is where the sacrifice comes in. Everybody's out enjoying themselves. You've got to knock them down.
It was brutal that, wasn't it?
New Year as well, wasn't it?
Oh, brutal, mate.
So
that's tough.
As a player, what was worse for you, Christmas period or the New Year period?
Christmas, mate. Oh, fucking hated playing Boxing Day. Did you know?
I didn't mind, because when you're young and you don't have attachments like you do now as an adult in terms of having kids and stuff, it wasn't too bad.
Your attachments to the lager and the red wine to me, I
know, but
that was my attachment, man. Everyone else sitting there getting steaming and you're sitting there with a fucking Lucozade.
I loved playing New Year.
Did you?
Aye, I loved it. It used to be New Year's Day as well. I loved that. I loved the fact that you were just sitting in bed with a wee... it was a wee one, Just feed you all the time. A wee glass iron brew or something like that. You know, just
you know that was a wee red wine to it?
No, and then boom, sleep. Well, and then it was up.
Would you always say, we always had a big game at New Year, Rangers? Was that every New Year?
I'm getting back to my days at Rangers, It was always Celtic, so I enjoyed that.
So every New Year it was Rangers Celtic?
It still is. It's not always back.
It was New Year's.
Because it goes to the 3rd and then that.
And it was New Year's Day.
Always New Year's Day.
And I love the fact that just sitting in bed, let the bells come in and then boom, and then you knew you had the game the next day. You couldn't wait. I loved that.
Would all your family go to the game?
No, because my mum and dad would struggle to go and watch. They get really nervous. So my mum have never watched a game of football. I mean,
your mum's never came to watch you and Barry play with Rangers?
Too nervous. Maybe go to a game, but would be downstairs. My dad, and I didn't realise until I'd finished playing, going to watch our Barry with my dad. He was an absolute nervous wreck. And I thought my dad, obviously I've never met my dad, dead laid back, chilled out, couldn't give 2 hoots, but when Barry was playing, and he even says now when I was playing, he was a wreck.
Was he,
I think most dads are like that. My dad would be that. He would get agitated. So he would lose his fuse would go quite quickly on a match day. If she asked him, like, he'd be like, Pauline, are you ready? Come on, I'm ready. And he'd get proper, and you could tell he was like, and I was like, calm down, Dad, it's just like sticking a football.
Would you play New Year's? Would it be the Edinburgh Derby New Year's Day?
Well, that's when I scored that goal.
That was ahead of New Year's Day? So see, the night before, did you just wait till 12 o'clock and then get to your bed?
12 o'clock, went to bed, and then woke up the next day up to Tynecastle, and then scored that goal, and then I went home and I fucking sat down and I just got a wee takeaway and didn't even have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, why did I not go and
celebrate,
milk it and have a bit? New Year's Day, obviously in England you would play.
We played constantly, and you played three games in 6 days.
You played like the 30th and then you played the first.
Mad.
The New Year's one was the worst. I always felt the New Year was worse in England. In England, when you played New Year's Day, nobody went out and drank afterwards. All the pubs shut New Year's Day, whereas in Scotland, pubs are opening New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why has nobody got a pub open here? I'm like, I remember Sunderland, 21 years old, would beat somebody, and I'm going for a pint after this. We're going for a pint, boys, aye. Says, meet you at the Queen Vic, up the Queen Vic, man. The Queen Vic shut. I'm like, what's going on here?
I thought you were a fat butcher, innit? That's why I said Queen Vic to you, mate.
5 o'clock in the afternoon and the pub shut.
That was Christmas. I told you the Canio begged us to have pasta on Christmas Day instead of turkey. Please, lads.
Is that right?
Please don't have turkey, have pasta. Fuck off.
I know.
Fucking pasta on Christmas
The worst thing
Day.
about Christmas Day was we trained Christmas night one year. Mick said he's either come in the morning and they let you get away, or you come in at night time. Because we're playing at home and that, and boys were like, we'll do a vote, and they voted to come in at night time.
Oh,
So you're at home all day, right? Just fucking finish the full burner Christmas dinner, and then you're up to Stadium Light for a wee quick 45 minutes.
You want it done first thing in the morning.
Swear to God.
100%.
And back to see the veins.
Aye. It was horrific. It's the worst one we've ever done.
I know that's. Mick, who was that, Mick?
Mick McCarthy.
Mick McCarthy.
Christmas night.
He's ever awake in a hotel Christmas?
I played Blackburn Rovers away at Ewood. I'm in the hotel.
It's not even that far for you.
Christmas Day in a hotel. I
hated that scene when I was at Sunderland. We had a guy, Mick Buxton, that took care for a short period at a time. And when we travelled on the Friday, because you always travel, I hated training in the Friday night. Because we get off the bus and he liked to go and go through set pieces and all that, find a park somewhere. I used to do my nutting.
We done that as well with the Canada Carlisle. I told you that story, innit? The wee guy was out in his gardening because he found the public park and there was a row of houses looking onto the public park. So we were doing shape for the game on the Saturday, and this wee guy's out doing his gardening, and the Canio being a madman, he's like, he's Carlisle, he worked for Carlisle, he's watching our shape. He's like, I went over at the wee guy and he's like, you're going to need to go in your house while we do this. The guy's like, mate, what are you talking about? Honestly, he thought he was like Carlisle, a scout for Carlisle, out watching your shape. Out doing his garden.
Oh my God.
Madness.
Crazy. Brilliant, that was brilliant.
That was good.
I hope you say a good. I think this is the last one before Christmas.
Is it?
Well,
hope you say a good one.
A good one.
What will your drink be Christmas Day?
Start off with a wee bit of, it's not going to be champagne, it'll just be a Prosecco. I can't afford champagne in my house. And then as the day wears on, who knows where it's going to go. So I've got Lewis's, Lauren, girlfriend, her mum and dad are coming down. So
what, a family at Christmas with the in-laws?
Aye.
That'll usually end up scrapping.
No.
Nah?
Oh, he's a good friend of mine.
Oh, is he, right?
Aye, he's a good lad, so he is.
What about you, Kev? Red wine?
We'll, no, it'll be like Derek. I'll have Prosecco with a wee touch of sloe gin at the top of it.
Oh,
right, hold on. Right, so I might have changed my sloe gin.
I make homemade sloe gin and put a wee bit of that on top of the Prosecco. Lovely.
Right, that's what I'm having then. I'm going to try that.
It's nice, makes it a bit more fruity, and then drive down to Stranraer for Christmas dinner.
And what about drink-wise, so red wine or beers?
Just depends. It depends what Anne's Stuart and Anne at the farm, the drinks covered, it's just an open close. It's just, there you go, what you want. It's farm measures. So a wee nip would be a big nip. I'll hear a couple of whiskies.
Shows the big nips at you.
I'll hear a couple of whiskies, definitely a couple of whiskies at night time.
Looking forward to it.
I'm off the whiskey,
chill
mate.
with the fire on.
Sends you wild, man.
You like it? You down that bottle of all, didn't you?
That Giant Victor was nice, mate.
It's nice,
isn't it? It's nice, mate. It's nice. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Right, sensational.
Cheers.